What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Potty Plan Entertainment. My name's Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies, and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. Today, we are talking about Captain America, the First Avenger. I have talked about Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor. Now we're on Captain America. I've also reviewed... I've reviewed Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home. So I reviewed those when it came out. But we are doing our Summer of Marvel, and we are going through everyone in order in which they're released that I have not already reviewed. So, next up is Captain America: The First Avenger, and then after that will be the Avengers, and then we'll be moving into Phase 2. So, Captain America: The First Avenger came out in 2011. It stars Chris Evans, Hugo Weaving, Haley Atwell, Sebastian Stan, Tommy Lee Jones, Dominic Cooper, Stanley Tucci, and Toby Jones. It was directed by Joe Johnston. And this movie tells the story of how a small, scrawny dude joins the army and volunteers for an experiment that makes him super buff and super awesome. And he leads a charge against Hydra, which is like sort of like a branch off the Nazis, kind of. And it's led by this evil guy called the Red Skull, who wants to take over the world using this thing called the Tesseract. If you watch the Avengers movies, you know what the Tesseract is. A cool, powerful, cute thing. And he's out to stop him from taking over the world as a Nazi, because that's what the Nazis tried to do. And they failed, because Captain America was there to stop them. Okay, no, he wasn't. He went into the ice first. But either way, I apologize if you hear the manatee, the crickets, and what do you call them? The ones that like leave their skin like on the sides of trees. What do you call those things? Well, whatever they are, they're noisy. I'm trying to block them out, but you know, it's the best I can do. Anyways, I've always really liked this movie. I didn't see this one in theaters, but I always really liked it. I even did a project on this movie when I was in middle school. So I always really liked this movie. More than most people, and I'm going to give you a fair warning before I start this video, because I did this with my Bad Boys review. I'm going to do it with this. I like this movie probably more than you do, so if it feels like I'm overhyping it, I apologize. I'm not trying to, but this is just my genuine opinion on the film. So, let's get into it. So, for one thing, the casting is fantastic. Chris Evans, I know a lot of people were iffy about him because he hadn't really done anything super impressive up until this, and so I understand people were a little iffy about him, but he worked out great. Marvel perfectly casted, like, everyone for the Marvel movies. Like, really, really great. The action is really good. It's always fun to watch Captain America beat up bad guys. The special effects are great. The Red Skull, I know a lot of people say he's just sort of like a mustache-twirling villain, but I think he's really cool, simply because Hugo Weaving plays him, and Hugo Weaving is awesome. I loved him in The Matrix, and I loved him in this. Steve is a good person. He stays humble and innocent even after his experiments, and that makes him more likable. Like when this girl's coming on to him, trying to like make out with him, and he's just like, I don't think they were all married. You can tell he's like super uncomfortable, even though now he's like the face of America, and I just think that's nice. Also, the music is really good. Also, the CGI on Steve Rogers, when this movie came out, I was like 11 or 12, so I didn't really understand CGI quite yet. So I actually thought that he was skinny or something. I was like, how is he so small and skinny? And then they made him buff. I was so stupid. But anyway, he looks awesome. Also, I liked Bucky in this movie. I feel like this was his best film. When he became the Winter Soldier, he was very quiet. But here, he's more of an interesting character, so I liked him a little bit better here. I also like the 40s culture in America. They do a really good job depicting it. It's not like movies like Wonder Woman 1984 that try to show you the 80s and it just does an awful job, or Captain Marvel try to show you the 90s and it just did not work. But here it really worked. They did a great job making this movie feel like it's in the 1940s. I also love the scene. One of my favorite scenes from this movie was when Steve gets the flag. When I was a kid, I was just thinking, I want to be just like him one day. How like all these guys are trying to climb up the flagpole to get the flag, and he just walks up and he takes out the pin so that it falls over so he can get the flag. And I thought, that's awesome. I want to be like that guy. Let's see. Also, Steve dives on a grenade, and that's just one of the things that makes him such a likable character. He's willing to lay down everything to serve his country. He does not care. Like, this is what he wants to do, and he's willing to die to do it. And it's just that he's such an intriguing character in that way. There's also some good stand-up and cheer moments, like when he goes off to save all the soldiers that are in the Hydra camp, and he comes back with them, and they're all walking into the camp, and you got that awesome music playing. It's just really, really good, yes, kind of moment. I also love Cap and Peggy's relationship. They are one of the better MCU love relationships for sure. I also love Cap and Bucky's relationship with each other in this film. They got this really great best friend thing going on. I also like how Cap fights a lot of bad guys. He fights a lot of like minion type guys, which I really like. I really like it when superheroes are just surrounded by like the bad guys' minions and they have to fight them all at once. I love that, and this movie gives me that. Also, it's very patriotic. I love that. Also, the flying sequence in this movie is really cool. When they didn't really have to do this, but like he gets up into the warship where they're gonna drop these bombs out in big cities in America, and he ends up fighting the Hydra guys. They lead out on these like little planes. And so he's on top of the plane, fighting a guy, he gets in one, he's chasing around another guy, and they didn't really need to make that scene. But that right there was just so awesome. It reminds me of Star Wars, when Han Solo and Luke are in the seats with the machine blasters, and they're being chased by the TIE fighters. They didn't really need to do that sequence, but it just adds so much to it. Let's see. I also like how Captain America is a propaganda piece in both this movie and in real life. When the comic book character came out during World War II, that's essentially what he was. He was an anti-Nazi propaganda piece, and this movie makes him the same thing. And I thought that was a really good homage to the comics. They even have him punch like a fake Hitler on stage when he's doing his when he's going around the country trying to sell war bonds, which is an homage to one of his old comic book covers where you see Captain America punching Adolf Hitler in the face. Let's see. I also like the theme of the little guy standing up to the bully. That's essentially the whole theme of this movie, is the little guy standing up to bullies. And that works really well for me. It's a great theme we can all get behind, and it's really nice. Let's see. It's also refreshing for a Marvel movie to be a time period piece. It's nice to revisit that, because everything you see, it takes place now. But this one feels a little bit different and almost a little bit removed, because this one doesn't take place nowadays. This one takes place in the 40s, and so it's very refreshing because it's different for a Marvel movie, and I like that very much. Also, the montage sequence in this movie, when Captain America and his team are going on all these missions during World War II, is so awesome. It's like one of my favorite movie montages. Captain America's suit is really cool. I've never really been a big fan of his suit in the Avengers, but here, this is where his suit has always been its best. It was never as good in any Marvel movie after this. This is where his suit was at its best. I like the way that they put Captain America in the ice. That works completely for me. It's heroic. It's fitting. It works. And I like how Howard Stark in this movie feels like Tony Stark. He does. He's essentially 1940s Tony Stark, and I really like that. That really worked for me. Overall, I love this movie. I understand most people don't love this movie, but this for me is one of my favorite Marvel movies, and I'm going to give Captain America, the First Avenger, a 100. Alright, you probably don't like this movie as much as I do. I told you. But let me know what you think about the movie in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to hear people's opinions. So, thank you so much for watching, and subscribe to Potty Player Entertainment for more. Hit the like button, leave me reviews, down in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Potty Player Entertainment for channel updates and other cool bonus stuff. And I will be back very soon with the Avengers. I'm going to see Nope this week. And I also have some TV shows I want to review as well. Those will be coming soon. Thank you for watching, and much love.